To today's training. My name is Lisa Wood. I'm the statewide director of the Virginia APEX Accelerator, and we were formerly known as the Virginia PTAC, which is a Procurement Technical Assistance Center. So the mission is still the same. The work has not changed. We are just flying under the Department of Defense now instead of Defense Logistics Agency, and DoD wanted to rebrand us. So a little bit about this program. We really want people to know that this resource is available to them because many small businesses end up paying somebody to do the services that we offer at no cost. So before you pull out that credit card to get your SAM up and running, please turn to us first and we'll be able to assist you with that. So to get started, a little bit about us. We're a nationwide organization. There's 94 offices throughout the country, also in Puerto Rico, Guam, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Within these 94 programs, there are over 300 local offices. So just like us, we are a program, but we have several offices throughout the state. So the program was authorized by Congress way back in 1985, and it was an effort to expand the number of businesses capable of participating in the government marketplace, or GIB. That GIB means Government Industrial Base. So we transitioned over to the U.S. Undersecretary of Defense in October of 2022, and it has been a process. It didn't happen overnight, but we're moving through it, and we're probably going to be solidified by this fall. We're hosted by George Mason University, but other PTACs can be hosted by state governments, universities, community colleges, and local economic development corporations or other local institutions. So many of our counselors throughout the country are retired government people. They did procurement for years in either state or federal government. They retired and they decided they still wanted to give back. They love the procurement field. So they end up being procurement counselors for all the PTAC programs. It's a unique skill set. We look for people who are great in handling people and talking to people, but also have that great skill set in procurement. So our service area is the green. So that's how many counties we serve. And because we serve the majority of the labor workforce, we are the statewide. But there are two other PTACs in the area. There's Crater PTAC, which is that creamy color, and then there is the Southwest Community College of Virginia PTAC in the blue area. That's the tail of Virginia. So take a good look at the counties, and that will let you know which program you're to reach out to if you want to become a client. So let's talk about counseling. How do you go about counseling, and what counseling do we actually offer? And I want you to remember that we only counsel on government contracting. So if you need help with your business plan or you're looking for lines of credit, you want to turn to the SBDC, which is the Small Business Development Centers. They're funded by the SBA, and they are great resources for all things business. But we only do government contracting. We often refer clients who aren't ready for prime time yet to the SBDC. So these are some of the features and benefits of our program. It's not everything we do, but it's a lot of what we do. We determine your suitability for contracting. If we don't think you're there yet, we're going to send you to the resources to help you get there. So don't get your feelings hurt if you get denied becoming a client with us. We just don't want you going headfirst in the deep end of the pool and struggling with the concepts. So you need to really have your business up and running and understand your business concepts before you enter into a government contract. We also help with securing necessary registrations like SAM, the System of Award Management. We all love that one. and the dynamic small business search, which is your free advertising to the government and can be found on SBA Connect. So we help you go through those processes. Please don't try to do it yourself. We can do it much easier because we do it every day. So if you need help with that, we'll walk you through it. We also assist with socioeconomic eligibility. Please do not pay somebody to do your 8A for you. We will help you at no cost. So 8A, Hub Zone, WOSB, Service Disabled Veteran Owned Small Business. All of those socioeconomic certifications that are required for set-aside opportunities with the federal government, we do. So we do them every day. So we can help you through that. And if you went ahead and submitted and you got that deficiency letter and it looks like Latin to you, we will help you decipher it. Also, researching procurement histories, you need to research who buys what you sell. When did they buy it? How much did they pay for it? When are they going to buy it again? Who are they buying it from? So that is a great way of doing your market research. Then marketing to the government. We help with that as well because that's a different animal. It's not like marketing in commercial world. You never use fancy marketing language, best in class, state of the art, optimizing your resources for superior customer service. No, you take all that language out of there. But marketing to the government is unique, and they tell us how they want to be approached. So we pass that information on to you. So it's anything from your email, your business cards, your website, your capability statement, all of that is included under marketing to the government. If you're not doing it the right way, you're being overlooked. Part of marketing is your capability statement. Capability statement is a one-page document that states your core competencies, your differentiators, all of your data information, and your past performance. So people really get this wrong. They go out and they watch a couple YouTube videos and they think they've got that in hand. And usually they don't, because we get a hold of them and it's like, holy cow, why did they do that? But we can help you through that. And we provide a template that's easy to fill out and examples of capability statements have already been designed. So please, before you take this on, talk to us first. CMMC prep. So CMMC stands for Cyber Maturity Model Certification. So any business that's downstream on a DoD issued contract, even if you're third, fourth, or fifth tier, is required to be compliant to the Cyber Maturity Model Certification compliance. And we help you understand that. And we send you to where you need to go to learn more and actually take the self-assessment test. So if, let's say you are a landscaper and the government has given you the blueprint and design for a base, a military base for you to do the landscaping and design, and they email it to you, that is considered controlled unclassified information, and you are handling it. If you are doing that, you are falling under CMMC. So sometimes people think, oh, that's not me. I'm just cutting grass or I'm just cleaning a building. That's not true. You are still part of some sensitive information. So you need to know whether or not you qualify for this type of compliance and or if it's required, because it's going to be in a contract and you're agreeing to it. So you want to make sure if somebody asks you, hey, are you compliant to level 1 CMMC? You can say, yes, ma'am, I am. So it's our goal and our mission to help businesses understand what this means and how to become compliant. DoD expects us to do that. That's one of their expectations of our program. So state and local contracting assistance. A lot of people forget about this. It's all about federal. Oh, we're going to get a federal contract. We're going to be millionaires, but it doesn't work that way. We like to see you start with state and local contracting. One, with the state, it's a much easier win because you're only competing against people in your own state. And local contracting, you're only competing against people in your local area, like your county or your town or your city, because they love to award to businesses within their jurisdiction. That is economic development and economic growth. So they love to show preference to businesses in their area because then they can brag about that. Yes, we awarded millions of dollars to local businesses. So make sure you're checking out the state's procurement website to see what opportunities are out there and your local government to see how they procure, because not every local government procures off of EVA. And I'm using EVA as an example because that's Virginia's procurement site. So check it out and start looking for opportunities that you could start to get your feet wet on. So training, we offer all kinds of training on every government contracting topic there is. It's live, it's webinar, it's on demand, it's all different types of training. So just make sure you are attending this training because that's how you learn the language of government. The more you immerse yourself in this topic, the more you'll be able to understand how to navigate the government's procurement system and to be able to bid successfully. Proposal prep, we don't write it for you, but we will check it to make sure you're doing the right thing. So I could go through a solicitation with you and point out things that you might not see, or I could go through your proposal and point out things that you may have missed. However, do not send us a proposal when it's due in a few hours or the next day. We really need time to take a look at it. And if we're giving you feedback, you need time to fix it. We also offer a bid match program. It is only $200 a month starting this summer. Right now it's $150. So try to get those bid match subscriptions in before the price goes up.
Per year.
Bid match helps to match you to opportunities that are out there in government, and it's based on keywords. So we punch in a profile for you, and then when procurements come up that match your keywords, you get emailed those opportunities, and then you can decide whether or not to follow through with them. The dynamic small business search, I touched on that under marketing to the government. That's an SBA site, and it's found under SBA Connect. It is your free advertising to the government. If you do not have this filled out properly, they are going to overlook you. They're just going to pass you by. So you want to make sure this is filled out correctly. Matchmaking events, if we're not part of it, we are advertising those in the area so you can take advantage of them. We can only assist with so many matchmakers a year because our resources are limited. However, if a matchmaker is coming up, we will put it on our website for you to take advantage of. Please attend these. It's all about relationship building and networking. The more you attend these, the more comfortable you're going to be with these concepts. GSA schedule guidance will help with a GSA schedule if it makes sense. A lot of times I send people out to take the little tutorial on GSA and they never bring it up again. So just make sure that GSA is the right idea for you and talk to us first, because we'll point out some things that you may not know and we'll offer some assistance. It's like writing a proposal, and that's in fact what it is, but it's tricky, and you just want to make sure that it's going to be valuable to you and value added. If not, you wasted time, and we don't want you to waste your time. It's hard enough just doing your procurement researches. So training versus counseling. So training is actually taking the classes. It's what you want to do first. You are becoming familiar with terms and topics that you are going to be exposed to once you get into the government contracting. Counseling is when you're meeting with someone one-on-one and they are guiding you through how to utilize these concepts and these things that you've learned in the training. We help connect the dots. So you've got to do both. You just can't go into the counseling and talk to somebody for an hour and then go out and try to do a contract. You really need to supplement the counseling with the training, because we can't meet with you every day. We're coaches and we're mentors, but we have, well, some of us have over 300 clients. So that's a lot of ground to cover. So sometimes you have to be self-directed in your learning process so that you are learning as you go. And then when you have questions, you can come for counseling and we can help you put that all together in a more understandable method. Are you eligible? This is very critical because a lot of people they miss this part. So you need to be aware that even if you personally live in Virginia, but your company is based elsewhere, we can't take you on as a client. So living in our state doesn't make you eligible. Even if you're the owner, it goes by your corporate office. So wherever your corporate office is located, that's who your program office will be. So if your business is located in Maryland, you will go to the Maryland PTAC. So our grant calls that out. The Department of Defense requires that we only counsel people in our area. So, and there's other things involved with that, but we know that you would love to be part of our program, but we have to stick with the rules because we don't want to go against the Department of Defense. So just make sure that your corporate office is where you will look for an Apex Accelerator. And Maryland and DC are great programs. There's nothing wrong with them. And we all talk to each other. We all attend the same classes. We all get the same training. We all work off the same cooperative agreement. So just make sure that you're going to the right place. You must be established, meaning you have to go to the State Corporation Commission, or some states it's Secretary of the State, and be registered there. And one, you can't go through SAM unless you are. So just make sure that you've done all the right registrations with your state. Now, if you're a sole proprietor, you're going to be required to get a fictitious name notice, just so you can prove your business name and your address. You must have a professional presence. So the government really cringes at email addresses with Gmail or Yahoo or Hotmail. That is not professional to them. And it is also a cybersecurity risk to them. So they do not want to see personal email addresses. So make sure you make the effort to get an email address that includes your business name instead of the generic Gmails or Yahoos. You must have past performance. So if you're a business, you've sold something. And it might not be to the government, it might be to commercial world or a local small business or a hospital or a school. The government doesn't want to take on newbies because that's a risk to them. They would prefer you start as a subcontractor or to have a few years of experience with the commercial world. So please be thinking about who you are building a presence with, whether it's business to commercial, or business to government. They're all valid past performances, just as long as you are performing the work. It means you are taking a contract through from start to finish. You understand how to complete a contract, how to invoice, get paid, and keep your books. So you need to register as a client on our website prior to requesting an appointment. So if you're interested in our program, don't call us up and say, I have a few questions. You really need to qualify as a client first, and then we're happy to help you. But a lot of people just want to ask a few questions and not sign up as a client, but we're really not permitted to do that. Please sign up as a client and then we'll have a conversation. So here's some common myths. And I love this graphic. This is not how this works. It's not how any of this works. You might say, I just need to talk to someone for a few minutes because my question is not complicated. We're not permitted to do that. We need to have your signed consent before we are able to counsel you. And that comes straight out of the Department of Defense. I just started a GovCon business and you can give me a contract. no, we cannot. We can teach you how to get a contract. We can show you the methods and the procedures to become conversant in government contracting, but we don't take you to a buyer and say to that buyer, hey, give this business a contract because they really know what they're doing. It just doesn't happen that way. And then the other one was so-and-so told me I can speak to someone about my sam.gov problem today. We are not a help desk. We don't just answer every phone call on SAM. And I know you go on SAM and they say, call your Apex Accelerator, but they don't understand. We have clients booked for weeks out. And we know that sometimes it's an emergency and you need to get paid and your SAM is inactive or you're not getting through it, but we just don't have the resources to pivot on those types of requests. So think of it as you reach out to your doctor and say, I need to talk to the doctor today. Well, you know that's not going to happen. You're going to have to go sit in the emergency room somewhere, sometimes hours on end, just to get somebody to talk to you. So it's really something you've got to consider, because we don't want you to get upset with us because we can't get to you right away. I try to keep my schedule a little lighter with counseling so that I can fit emergencies in as they come up. But chances are we're not going to be able to get to you right away. So just be realistic with that expectation. The other myth is I should be able to meet with my counselor weekly. And no, we can't do that. We have so many people that we're dealing with and many more coming in. So it's reasonable if we just put you through SAM and you get emails from them, you can forward to us the email and we can respond to it. If something's coming up, a lot of things we can handle just with email. We don't have to meet with you, but we're going to set up an appointment with you. And sometimes it's going to be weeks out. We're doing the best we can to keep up, but we can't meet with you weekly. It's just not that type of service. We do not have the funding to bring on more counselors yet. We're working on that. Hopefully, Congress will vote to give us more money. If you want to call your state representative, please put in a good plug for us to give our program more money. But we don't want you to get these expectations that we can meet you right away. We don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. So please just be understanding and know that we'll get to you and we'll be able to help you, just sometimes not right away. So to register as a counseling client, speaking of registering, your primary reason if you want a one-on-one meeting is to request counseling. Training client applications are not assigned to a counselor until a meeting is actually requested. If you're unsure of your application status, just call or email us and ask about where you are in the system. And if you see Kelly Peterson's name, you are not a client yet. You are still in training status. So Kelly doesn't do counseling. Kelly handles a lot of the client intake and the things that go on behind the scenes. So her name is in there as a filler. So please just make sure if you're not being assigned a client, you need to check and make sure that you've actually been accepted as a client and that you know who your counselor is. You would have received a letter saying who your counselor is and instructions on how to prepare to meet with that counselor. We stress that the resources we put in the welcome email after processing and approving your application for counseling are critical. We want you to be prepared for that first meeting so you have great questions to ask. And a lot of the veil is listed on mysterious government contracting topics. You could go in, take the few introductory sessions, and be ready to go when you finally get to meet with your counselor. So as you can see, the company name is visible in the top right-hand corner when you're logged into the eCenter profile. If you log in and see our intake coordinator, Kelly, as your assigned counselor on the welcome page, it means you are not a counseling client yet. because it shows the system default instead of an actual counselor. So this means you're in what we call pre-client status, regardless of your eligibility for counseling. Basically, you have a login profile. You must ask to verify your eligibility if you're unsure whether you can request counseling and what next steps you need to take. Formal counseling clients will see the name and email of their assigned counselor, so they can reach out directly to request an appointment. Counselors all manage their own schedule, so it's usually not necessary to contact your intake coordinator as an existing client. So if you are not hearing from your counselor, look at your welcome letter and reach out to them, because we email people and we never hear back from them. And we give it 3 times. We'll email them 3 times and even throw a phone call in there. If somebody doesn't answer us back, we're moving on to the next person. So if you have not heard from your counselor yet for that introductory session, please send them an email and they will get back to you right away. For new registrants, we strongly recommend that you read through all the above entries. This will help you understand what to expect and make sure you and your counselor are on the same page once your application is processed. Nothing is more frustrating than to have an appointment with a concrete goals set up and be unable to accomplish any form of momentum because of missing documents or password problems. So sometimes out of an hour's counseling session, I spend the first half hour waiting for someone just to be able to log into SAM. Or we go in to do WOSB and none of their documents can be found on their computer to upload into the WOSB application. So please be organized. Be ready to go for when you go to have your meeting. We understand things happen, but we would prefer that, if we're going through your SAM, already be on SAM. So when we come on, we're going right into it. Because if we only have a 1-hour session, that session goes really fast. So just make sure your username and passwords are up to date. Always write them down and keep them in a safe place so they are easily accessible to you. So the bid match service. Counseling clients are able to take advantage of a subscription bid match service, which is called BMS. Once they progress to the point that they are ready to start bidding on work, then they are able to use the system to find opportunities. Many subscription services exist on the open market in various forms, and all of those services are essentially taking publicly available information and putting it into a digestible summary to save you time. So you're not going out there and looking for all these. The decision to subscribe to something like this comes down to the value it brings in time savings. Some of the most popular products you hear about are often thousands of dollars a year and have very complex capabilities and insights. So it just depends on you. You might want to start out with a more simplistic service that doesn't cost a lot of money until you get up and running. As you become more sophisticated, you can check out the more expensive ones. But just remember, these are all things that you can actually do yourself. It's just a convenience to have them emailed directly to you. And sometimes you miss stuff. And you might miss it by you going into SAM, but catch it when it comes through as your bid match. So it's a business decision whether you want to go through with this, but we have a couple hundred bid match clients and they renew every year. So they like the service and it's working for them. Our bid match, it's not fancy, but it does allow you to set up a profile based on keywords and adds restrictions to narrow the pool of potential solicitations that you may want to review. You don't want to get 100 hits a day because you're never going to be able to follow up on those. I had somebody email me keywords to add, and one was Army. And I emailed them back and I said, you can't use the word Army. You're going to get like 1,000 hits a day. So I said, oh, I didn't even think of that. So needless to say, we didn't put Army in. Then you receive a list of opportunities that are emailed to you daily. And as a subscriber, you can provide multiple emails though there is a character limit, so watch that. It searches all the known publicly available bid websites, including sam.gov, and contract opportunities among other federal, state, and local and foreign bid databases. It's limited to those our vendor is aware of. So if you use the service and find there's a particular bid website that isn't showing in the search results, then let us know and we can alert our service to make sure they add that site as well. It has to be at least 3 bids per month to be included. Just add that little caveat. So you can see how it looks here. These are the ones that are added. And let's say it's really small. I can't read that, but all 3. This person got 3 on May 14th, and we can tell that you actually read them. And if there's a 0, you didn't get any, but you want to keep these numbers low. That's how you know you have a refined bid match. But we have clients that change their keywords all the time. Hey, add this, take this out. This isn't working. And we look at it with you and say, you're getting hits on words that it's not giving you a good opportunity. So let's take that word out. So it's a process, and it takes a while to refine it and get used to it and make it really work well for you. So there's also iSearch. This is a free tool provided by the same vendor who hosts our bid match and the eCenter platform. You can find the link on the eCenter welcome page, and it is more limited in the flexibility or stacking or restricting search parameters, but a good place to start if you want to check out the types of results a basic search will give you. It uses the same source information as the bid match profile does. It's just less granular and must be done manually. So this helps you get a feel for what would be good keywords for you. And it's sort of like putting on training wheels before you do your actual bid match. Training events. These are a key aspect of our service that allow economy of scales and greater impact to clients and non-clients alike. Anyone, regardless of their location, can participate in our events and recordings listed on the Useful Links eCenter page. You do not have to be a client to participate. It's important to understand the eCenter training calendar. In addition to listing events that we host or organize, it also lists local events that we think our clients would want to know about. Knowing the difference in labeling will help you understand the distinctions and use our calendar more effectively. So there's always somebody sending us a link to an event that we have nothing to do with, but we think it's of value to our client base. So we'll post it out so people can take advantage of it. So take advantage of the menu on our website to find the training calendar tips, such as how to filter and search for your training lists effectively. The menu also has a link to sign up for our monthly event newsletter, which is full of fabulous information and a list of classes that are coming up. Most of our events are live and not recorded, but some are taught by our staff counselors and are made available on demand. Regardless of whether you are signing up for a live training event or a pre-recorded webinar on our Useful Links page, you'll be asked to input your email and set up a login if registering for the first time. If you complete the company information and become a primary contact on our company profile, you are able to invite somebody from your company so that it automatically links their personal login to the company profile you created and reduces how much data entry they may need to do to include themselves in the class. Inviting someone else not from your company means they will only get the normal registration link without any special treatment embedded in the invite. Don't forget events you've already registered to attend. We'll include a link to add it to your calendar, including a 15-minute reminder before the event starts. We recommend adjusting this to an earlier time for in-person events to account for travel. Our calendar tips page will help you navigate the eCenter like a pro once you understand how to change the view and make best use of the advanced search functions. Here's a quick list of some of the ways you can configure our training calendar to find what you're looking for. My favorite way to use it is just search by keywords: proposal, indirect rates, capability statements. It's a great way to search that way. And then it gives you exactly what you're looking for. Please note that while you're logged in, it's easy to mix up the training events with the My Events feature of the eCenter, which lets you view those events you're registered to attend. The My Events section is organized with the most recent events at the top if you put it in list form. This lets you quickly locate handouts for events you have previously attended. Those handouts are found at the bottom of each registration page after you're marked as attended. One important element of eCenter registrations is to understand that once you are registered to attend an event or on-demand recording, there is a new field that becomes visible called Attendee Instructions, with additional information, including the webinar access link if it is an upcoming live webinar. Depending on your attendance or login status, attachments may be available at the bottom of the page as shown in the example on-demand recording. We typically send reminder emails 1 week and 1 business day before a class begins, and those email reminders have an auto login link, which will take you right to the class registration page, so you can quickly find the handouts afterwards if you save the reminder. We typically only record webinars taught by George Mason staff, since most live webinars are taught by third-party subject matter experts. And we do not make those available as recordings because they get cranky about stuff like that. They don't want their intellectual property out. It's just, people are funny about that. Attendee instructions listed at the bottom of the registration page will let you know after you register whether it is live only or if we expect to record it. Because we only make a limited number of topics available on demand ourselves, we subscribe to a third-party service that allows us to provide a code to client companies based in our region of Virginia so they can access many more recordings on a large library of topics at no cost to you. We absorb that cost. If you are based outside of our service area, we recommend starting with the eCenter Useful Links page recordings, which are free for all to use. Then asking your local APEX Accelerator if also subscribe to any on-demand library of courses. The code for our subscription is limited for use by our clients and staff in Virginia. So you must email us if you don't already have a message with the current access code, and that code changes regularly. So what happens is, for example, we use Govology. You can go to Govology, set up a registration for yourself. And if you're one of our clients, when you select a class and go to check out, instead of spending $75 for the class, which is what they usually run, you put in the code and it will go to zero. It's a discount code. So you can take the classes at no cost. So just about everywhere you turn, there's a database to maintain your company profile so buyers can find you. You got to be where you can be found. The biggest examples of these are SAM.gov and Dynamic Small Business Search, but we are no exception. When you register in our database and enter your company information, many of the fields are not required and may not be familiar to you, such as PSC and FSC codes, NAICS, or certifications like SWAM, which is the state of Virginia's small business certification. Once you've taken the time to review the training and take advantage of counseling, it's beneficial to update your company profile data in your client login and on our database as well. So adding a NAICS and product or service description can potentially put you in a pool of companies in line for opportunities that you might not otherwise be aware of. Often, government agencies or primes reach out to us seeking small businesses who fit a specific procurement. We often find companies among our clients who fit the description. We've had an increased number of small business office representatives ask us for our clients who meet the criteria they're looking for, whether it's a specific type of metal coating or an infographic design service. We have run across many situations where buyers just cannot find what they're looking for and reach out to us looking for the capabilities that they're seeking. When this occurs and we are able to search our database for companies to either email you a link to an opportunity or ask for a copy of your capability statement to pass along, you've got to be ready. We have to be able to find you. So if you want to be in those search results, company must have their information correct in our system. So oftentimes when you sign up, you might have NAICS and PSC code selected, but when we go through SAM with you, those will be refined. So make sure you're keeping your codes up to date in our system. Plus, now that we're under DoD, there are technical areas that we fill out, such as, do you do quantum computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, bioscience? So cybersecurity, there are things that DoD is seeking, and we do a survey of the firms that do that. And it helps enhance your profile, not only with us, but with the Department of Defense. That's why your information is critical. So you remember the saying years ago, garbage in, garbage out. It's true today. You must make sure that your information is up to date, no matter where it is, because you might miss out on opportunities that you could be a perfect fit for just because you got overlooked because your information wasn't clear. So keep in mind the aforementioned opportunities typically only get emailed to clients who are subscribed to emails from us. Even if your company profile is up to date, it's a good reason to check in our system and make sure you are personally subscribed to email. After you're a registered client, you should begin receiving a monthly newsletter with articles and recommended readings. Even if that newsletter is not arriving in your inbox 1 month after you receive your welcome letter, please email us to make sure you're subscribed to emails. We've covered a lot of ground, so I'll emphasize how important it is to leverage the available resources at your disposal and learn how to fish in government, because we can't fish for you, but we can give you those tools to bring in the big fish. If you sign up for counseling and simply wait for an appointment with a counselor, you are not going to have enough time to cover all the topics you want to discuss in that meeting. Please use all the available tools, including the live and on-demand training and resource links, plus the bid match if you're ready for it. We often hear feedback like, you should hire more counselors to help the growing number of companies who want and need assistance. Unfortunately, we have a limited budget for our program. Hopefully, Congress will move forward to award DoD more money for us to grow our program. In the meantime, while we wait for more funding, we're here to help you get the greatest impact towards building your government industrial base business or your defense industrial base with the resources that we do have available to us. Take our training, which is geared towards providing you with a solid foundation. Learn as much as you can before meeting with a counselor. Then do the homework your counselor assigns so that you are asking new questions next time. We'll work with you to find the answers. Our most successful clients are the ones who are taking control of their own learning journey.